Hello, what have we here?
Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Lambo Calrissian here, coming at you with yet another beautiful episode of The Build Up. Go ahead and cue that intro music for me. Yeah. Looking at it now, this episode was pretty cool, but it wasn't really eventful, so we didn't get a lot of power scaling and stuff in that. I'll go ahead and introduce the most important parts of it in terms of power scaling, figuring out where things are. But I think the coolest thing we got to see out of this was Bloodstark's 2 battles, and the fact that Nin Comic, by far my favorite best match, has been seen on screen. Other than seeing and finding some revelations about the owner of the store and me meeting some of characters in Sento's past and seeing old boy with them really funky ass teeth, we get to see no trial forms in this episode. There was 0 in this one. I think when he saw Bloodstark, he knew he couldn't just play around with him. He had to go all out. And as it stands with both fights between Bloodstarks, man, Build was really swapping hands with him. He was B1 to not get mollywopped today. That was pretty interesting to see, but I think Bloodstark was holding back. He even commented in the first fight that his finisher was a 3.2 in terms of hazard level. But when he got pissed off in the second fight, his finisher became a 3.7, and this intrigued Bloodstark a lot. I'm getting the feeling that Bloodstark is very much one of those characters who enjoys a good battle and wants to make sure he pushes things out to their max. At the same time, he's just like a scientist like Night Rogue, so he's experimenting and seeing how far can Build's potential go. I believe that Bloodstark had more of a factor on Kiryu than Night Rogue, which is why Bloodstark is more than obliged to come out and help him out and dealing with Build. So yeah, there's that. Now, although Build and Bloodstark first round, they swapped hands a lot. In the second round, Build got to put the hands on him a lot more. It's interesting to see that the way Bloodstark reacted to all of the hits were very calm and casual, almost as if he was holding back and he knew that Build could get stronger. So it's safe to say that Bloodstark wasn't even using his full power in all of these fights. In fact, he looked like he was just having a time of his life watching Build get stronger. The fact that Build never used a trial form in this episode in order to battle Bloodstark also proves the point that these guys, especially him and Night Rogue, are exceptionally powerful guys and can't be just taken down by traditional trial form means. And when it comes down to it, Nin Comic appeared when he was battling what looks like to be maybe the key smash. I'm not exactly sure. We'll figure out next week or later on this week during the translations for this. But Nin Comic showed up, and by God, does he look amazing. If you guys don't know this, my favorite colors in the world are purple, and I do like yellow because the two match so perfectly together. So seeing this together is and seeing how Nin Comic's 4-panel sword works in action is pretty cool. Each panel has a different ability that he can use. So he can use like the shadow clone jutsu and a fire release jutsu, you know, traditional ninja stuff, but it's like very much so in a comic book form based on the sword, and that's really cool. We haven't seen the other 2 panels, so we don't know what they can do, but it's hinted that Nin Comic is extremely powerful in this form. So much so that it only took 2 of his 4 abilities in order to beat the opponent. I'm thinking he was going to whip out all 4 today, but it only took 2. So it's interesting to see what he can do within the future. I also want to see what some of the more elaborate trial form configurations do. Will he still be able to use the 4-panel sword, and how will he use it differently compared to the full extent of Nin Comic? Who knows? We'll get to that part. But I think I'm going to end the video here. Yeah, this one's a pretty short one because, like I said, it wasn't really a whole lot in this episode about power scaling. We didn't get any big news on it. But if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to give it a like, subscribe to the channel for more Kamen Rider weekly goodness and Super Sentai goodness as well. And let me know in the comment section how you guys feel about Bloodstark. You think he was holding back? You think that was his full extent? And what do you think the fight's going to go next week? Because the previews for it look intense. If you guys don't have anything else to say at the time of this recording, it's like 5:37. I've gotten 0 hours of sleep, so I'm going to try to take a nap before I post this up. I'm Lambo Calrissian, reminding you guys to keep calm and so cool.